So I was listening to a podcast recently and they were talking about bailouts. And I was really fascinated because they were talking about the importance of some companies getting bailed out in order to keep business going, in order to stay in business. And I was really fascinated by this. And I started thinking about how I could apply this to where I currently am in business. I started thinking about this concept of bailing out a business so that they can continue to run operations. And I'm like, well, how does that apply to where my little young self is in business, right? I've only been in business since 2015. And so I was really intrigued by this podcast episode because they were talking about like does a company get to a place where they basically earn the right to be bailed out. And I was thinking like, dang, it would be super dope to have that level of privilege. Good morning, Latanya. What's up, Instagram? What's up, y'all? Come on in. And so I was thinking about like what it would look like to have that level of privilege. Like if you really think about the amount of privilege that you have if you are at a place where you can get bailed out in business, like business starts to slip and there's somebody who's willing to swoop in and bail you out. And so I was thinking about like, well, that's a lot of privilege. That's a lot of power, right? That's a lot of influence. Okay. And I was thinking about failing and I was thinking about business and I was just thinking about like how much grit and grind and hard work is required to stay in business, which brings me to my first way of preventing failure in business. There's two ways to prevent failure in business. And here's the first one. You can get too big to fail. That's exactly what happens, that what we've seen with a lot of companies over the years. When we think about bailouts, the first thing people usually think about is the banks, right? So the government has bailed the banks out. The government has bailed airlines out. The government has bailed the big three out, the car companies, some of the car companies, right? I don't know which ones, right? Chrysler, Ford, GM, they've received bailouts. And so when I was thinking about this concept of failure, right? Because I've been in business since 2015. So suffice it to say, like I have had moments where I was just like, ooh, are we gonna make it? Right. And I'm just like, how can we become fail proof? And so in studying and listening to this podcast, this first way kind of occurred to me really quickly. Like they've become so big that failing, a third party, the government, the federal government has decided that they are too big to fail, right? And so the government, when things have gotten tight for those in those industries, right, whether it be airline, whether it be banks, whether it be the big three, the government bails out universities. Like if they're not getting enough money, if a public university is not getting enough money, enough donations, then the government will swoop in and bail them out. Like they have appropriations for universities so that they don't fail. And so the first way to avoid failure in business is to get too big to fail. And then I was thinking about, dang, well, I'm nowhere near that. Like if my business starts going under and like the account goes into negative and like we're not getting new business, like I don't think a government agency is going to swoop in and like help us out. It's just like, oh, another small business didn't make it, right? We're just going to become a statistic if we fail. So I'm like, okay, boom, I can't latch on to that. Like at this moment, I'm like, what can I latch on to in this moment to avoid failure? And getting too big to fail is going to take some years, right? You got to become this huge corporation and you have to really have influence, because if the fail, if a major airline fails, if one of the banks fail, that the economic windfall from that is going to be so major that it actually costs less to bail them out than it does to allow them to fail, right? Think about the jobs that we will lose in our society. Think about, the supply chain that will be impacted if the big three stops producing cars, right? There's so many other companies that they keep in business by them staying in business, right? And so it takes years, decades sometimes to grow to that gargantuan level and that size where a government is willing to bail you out. So I'm like, okay, dang, I can't really, that's not going to be my fail proof strategy. I'm 9 years into the game. I'm not too big to fail. Like if I fail today, like no government agency cares. So then I started thinking about, okay, well then what's another way that we can become fail proof that we can literally tap into today? And I started thinking about the moments that I've had since being an entrepreneur where I myself might have wanted to like take a break or bow out. Or if I'm being completely honest, I fantasized about just shutting everything down and abandoning society. Now, that's usually in moments where I'm feeling burnt out. I remember researching what it means to be burnt out. And I remember learning that one sign that you may be burnt out and overwhelmed from business is you start having fantasies about abandoning society. And I've had many fantasies like that, like plenty of times over the years, like literally throw my laptop into the ocean and just walk away from everything. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to eat. I don't know how I'm going to live, but I'm abandoning all of these responsibilities. I'm sick of being a leader. I'm sick of being a homeowner. Like, I'm sick of everything. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Right. And so that's in those moments when I start having these fantasies about abandoning society. That is when I know, like, Lisa, you're probably burnt out. You probably need to take a break. You probably need to take a respite. You probably need to like dial it in for a second before you make these giant decisions in these heightened states of overwhelm, right? Shout out to emotional intelligence. So what's crazy is that in the few moments I've had over the years where I really felt like that I wanted to throw everything away, do you know what inevitably happened? Inevitably, I would receive a text message, I would receive an email, or I would receive a phone call with someone who's trying to give me business. I will receive a DM with someone who's requesting my services. And then the second way to avoid failure occurred to me. If you are in a place in business where you can't really say you're too big to fail, where somebody will swoop in and save you, like the airlines, like the banks, like universities, the second way to avoid failure and become fail proof in business is to become too good to fail. And I believe that's where we are today. And the way that you become too big to fail is first you have to become too good to fail. So I was really like, I really had to give myself a pat on the back recently about this, right? Because I was recently like really thinking about like, how can I like just slim stuff down, do less? We got this team now, we got these coaching programs that we offer. But then guess what started happening? Like I started receiving literally in the past 2 months, in the past 60 days, I've received a text message, a DM, another text message, and an email, all with people who are trying to give me business. And I realized that the number one way that we all have access to today, that this is something that everybody can tap into today, the number one way, besides becoming too big to fail, the number one way to become fail proof in business is to become too good to fail. So none of us, like, I don't know anybody who has 100% track record when it comes to opportunities, like going after opportunities and getting every opportunity that you go after, right? I don't know anyone who has 100% track record of like you might have pitched yourself for something, you might have submitted an application for something, you just having sales calls with potential clients, right? I don't know anybody who has 100% close rate on opportunities that they go after. So that goes for me too. I have not gotten all the opportunities that I've pursued, but guess what I have gotten? I've gotten 100% of the opportunities that have pursued me. So I have not got 100% of the opportunities that I've pursued, but I have gotten 100% of the opportunities that have pursued me. What does that mean? That means that somebody has either come into my ecosystem from a referral, or they've even found me through a Google search or something. And when they get over here, they start consuming my content. They might listen to a podcast. They might listen to one of these lives. They might show up to one of my master classes. And inevitably, as soon as they see me in action, we move forward. Like I have not gotten every opportunity that I've went after, but I have gotten every opportunity that has went after me. And you want to know why? It's because when they come over here, they instantly see excellence. Like I am too good to fail. Like I was laying in bed, y'all, thinking about this recently. Like, yo, like failure for me, like it will be harder for me to quit business than it is for me to stay in business today. Like this is the place that I want y'all to get to in your business and in your pursuits. And it will be harder for me to close the doors than it is for me to keep the doors open. Like I've received several opportunities just in the last 60 days that I did not request, that I did not ask for, that I did not propose, that I did not fill out an application for. They just came to me because I lead with excellence. So, how do I get too good to fail? You lead with the spirit of excellence in every single thing you do. That is how you fail proof your business. Because when people refer you, when people get into your ecosystem, when people listen to work that you've done, when they listen to your replays, when they watch your stuff, when they open your emails, right? You're going to have created something that is so good and that's speaking to them so well and that is so premeditated. It's not just thrown together, but you actually do everything with intent that people are going to have no choice. They're going to have no choice but to be impressed. Listen, I was thinking about this, like, I was thinking about failure recently, yo, it's amazing how the statistics will try to scare the hell out of you, right? Like the statistics will tell you, most small businesses fail within the first year. Most small businesses fail within the first 5 years. Like people don't do stuff just because of the statistics. Like, you know how people be like 50% of marriages fail, and then people all of a sudden like, I don't want to get married. I'm like, I'm not. Like, I'm too excellent not to get married. Like, I don't think y'all understand. Like, I'm a dope partner, right? Like, that's not going to be my statistic. Why? Because the statistics apply to people who maybe the majority of them have not tapped into excellence. They were just doing the things to get it done. Like, I'm not going to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. I'm going to be the best partner I can be. I'm not going to be in business just for the sake of being in business. I'm going to be the best business owner that I can be. Like, the way you become too good to fail is by becoming excellent. Because failing for me, like I was thinking about this the other day, like, for some people, quitting means just turning the lights off in your business. Like it might just mean turning the lights off and never turning them back on. For some people, quitting would mean just like, I just don't send another email. I don't go live anymore. I don't pitch my offer anymore. And that will shut your business down. Like for some of you guys who are not giving your all and your best, all you have to do is stop being active in your business and your business is over. For those of us who are at a point where we're too good to fail though, even if I stop going live, even if I stop doing the podcast, like for me, quitting would have to mean not just turning the lights off. It would mean that I would have to shut my email down. It would mean that I would have to change my number. And it would mean that I would have to lose contact with every single person that knows me, because now I don't even have to force business to stay open because business comes to me. I open my email. Hey, Lisa, I want to introduce you to such and such. She needs somebody to come speak at her company about nutrition. I open my text message. Hey, Lisa, we want you to create a program for us. I look at my, I get a phone call. Hey, Lisa, are you still doing those classes every such and such? I got somebody that I want to send your way. Like now, right, quitting and shutting business down for me will be harder than it is because I'm too good to fail. I've led with excellence for so long that my business has become fail proof. And that's what I need you guys to do. There's two ways to avoid failure in business. The first is to become too big to fail. You're so big that another third party entity sees the value in keeping you open and bailing you out. That's what the government does for airlines. That's what the government does for banks. That's what the government does for universities. That's what the government does for auto companies, right? If they fail, we will lose thousands, millions of jobs. Like if they fail, the economic impact will be so big that the government says, we got to keep you in business. So you can get too big to fail. However, most of us are not there yet. So the next option for you to fail proof your business and fail proof your life really is to get too good to fail. And the way you get too good to fail is that you have to do everything with a spirit of excellence. And it doesn't take that much. Most people are so average and mediocre. Like most people most people are literally waking up and checking boxes. Like, okay, I did that. They're not saying I did it with greatness. They're not saying I did it with excellence. They're not saying I did my best. They're just saying I did it. Like I got it done. Okay, I know I need to email my email list. My email list hasn't heard from me. Let me just send an email. Okay, I know I need to go live. My social media is kind of dead. Let me just go live. Okay, I know I need to record a podcast because I done committed to this podcast. So let me just do it. Like most people, I need y'all to understand, like most people are not showing up with a spirit of excellence to everything. Most people will show up to a spirit of excellence for stuff that maybe they can see very clearly the ROI. Like, oh, this company wants to pay me to speak. Let me really take my time and prepare. oh, this client, if I do the sales call right, they're going to pay me thousands of dollars to work with me. Let me show up great. But maybe when it's time to go live, or maybe when it's time to write that email, or even when it comes to your captions on your social media posts, like, are you putting thoughts into them? Like, everything has to be intentional. That's how you get too good to fail. Like, everything has to hit right. Like, everything has to be done with intent and purpose. That spirit of excellence will make you too good to fail. And then even when you want to quit, like me, like even when you start fantasizing about abandoning society and throwing the whole business away, you're going to wake up to a text message with an opportunity. I'm too good to fail. Right. And it's like, I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud because I didn't start off with this spirit of excellence in business. Like, in 2015, when I was first starting off, like I was just like throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. I wasn't sure exactly what I was selling. I wasn't like completely sold on our service, our products and our services yet. Like, but when I got a spirit of excellence and I embodied a spirit of excellence, that's when things changed in business, right? And so now I'm at a point where like quitting would look like I would have to send out a notice like, yo, stop recommending me for stuff. I don't do that no more. Like, it will be harder to quit than it would be to stay in business. Like, y'all, stop referring me to speaking engagements. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, stop sending clients over here who you want to help them adopt a plant-based diet. Like, I'm too, right? And so that's what I need you guys to understand. See, when you're too big to fail, the government bails you out. But when you're too good to fail, your excellence bails you out. That's kind of a bar a little bit. That's kind of a bar a little bit if I do say so myself. So I'm gonna say it again because I just impressed myself. When you're too big to fail, the government has to bail you out. But when you're too good to fail, opportunities bail you out. So even when you want to stop, it's somebody on the other side of your line saying, "Hey, yo, we need you over here." Hey, yo, like this just happened to me. Literally like last week. Like last week, I got an email from someone and she's like, Lisa, I was talking to a colleague. She runs a nonprofit. They're in need with somebody who can help with their programming. They're doing health programming and they need somebody to help. The first person I thought of was you. And then guess what she said though? She said, I sent her to your website. I sent her to your social media. So then guess what happened next? I talked to the young lady via email. We set up a time to meet. We met on Friday. The very first thing she said when she came on the call was, I just got done watching your interview that you did with ET. It was so good. When you said this, when you said that, she was excited about pitching me for what she wanted me to do for her. Why? Because soon as somebody recommended me, she had somewhere to go where my excellence was on display. I need y'all to get too good to fail. I need y'all to get too good to fail. Like, you don't have to worry about staying in business when you are too good to fail, because opportunities will come your way. When somebody refers you, they can then binge your content, whether that be your podcast, it could be reading your blog, it could be getting on your email list, it could be showing up to a live class you teach every month, and they're already sold on you. This happened again this week. Last week, I taught a masterclass about combating sugar addiction and chronic stress, right? Somebody was in that class and he enjoyed it so much, he sent me a DM afterwards telling me how much he enjoyed the class and how much he loved it. And then it just so happened that 2 days later, he sent me a proposal to consult with him on some work. I don't think it's a coincidence that he came to that masterclass, saw me in action, and 2 days later, he proposed the opportunity to me. You got to get too good to fail. That's how you fail-proof your business. You do everything as quickly as possible from day one. And then here's the final tip. Lisa, how do I getting too good to fail means I must become excellent. How do I become excellent? It's very simple. I need you guys to oversimplify your business model. And I'm gonna be honest, this is something I'm currently working on perfecting right now myself. We have to get simpler with our offers. We have to get more simple with the articulation of our value. Like, you have to get, like, people need to quickly and easily understand what it is you do. They need to quickly and easily understand how to work with you. So how to buy what you're selling, right? And they need to quickly and easily be able to understand how to explain it to others. So you have to be great at what you do. The only way you can be great at what you do is if your business model is simple. So you're not like, you don't have 101 offers. You shouldn't have 101 places you're trying to show up at one time. Like, I'm approaching a decade in business and I'm just now officially activating YouTube, right? I'm like, it's too much. Like I knew I needed to be on YouTube a long time, but it's not until, Kiwi, my brand manager, got on the team and she's like, we need YouTube. And I'm like, okay, we'll go do YouTube because I don't have the capacity. Like, I just want to do this. Can I just turn the mic and the camera on and then you do everything? Okay, now we have the capacity for YouTube, right? So you have to respect your own capacity because it's impossible to be excellent at something if your talent and your capacity is stretched too thin. So if you want to be too good to fail, you have to operate out of a spirit of excellence. To operate out of a spirit of excellence, you have to oversimplify your business model because your talent and your capacity will be stretched too thin, where excellence all of a sudden becomes a chore. Excellence should come easy. It should not be a chore. If you're worried about, oh my God, I got to post this on a million different platforms, or I got to figure out what I'm selling this week, or I got to figure, like, you're doing too much compromises excellence. Doing too much compromises excellence. So there's let's review, boys and girls, okay? We're at 20 minutes. I wanted to stop this at 20 minutes. I'm trying to be shorter in my explanation of things. Ooh, y'all pray for me. Okay, let's review, boys and girls. Number one, the first way to fail-proof your business is to become too big to fail. When you're too big to fail, the government bails you out. The second way to fail-proof your business is to become too good to fail. When you're too good to fail, opportunities bail you out. It's still a bar. I still like it. I thought I was going to be over it, but I still love it. And so here is the Lisa-ism for today. Here's the Lisa-ism for today. It's very simple. It's 3 words. Failing is optional. Failing is optional. It's not inevitable. It's optional, right? I need you guys to understand this. The thing that makes it optional is that you have to have the formula. The formula to avoiding failure is excellence. The formula for excellence is mastery and simplification. Master your subject matter above and beyond others in your industry, and simplify your business model so that your talent and your capacity is not stretched too thin. The Lisa-ism for today is failing is optional. I need you guys to embody that. You don't have to fail, right? Like, everything doesn't always work out, but that doesn't mean you have to fail. Your business doesn't have to fail. If you started it to serve, if you started it to solve problems for people that they can't solve on their own, then the marketplace needs you. And so I need you to figure out what's excellence for you. And I need you to sit in that from here on out. Not on some days, not just when the sun is out, not just when stuff is going awry in your private life, but I need excellence to lead always. When you are excellent, you are too good to fail, and opportunities have no choice but to come knocking. Does that make sense, y'all? That makes sense. Listen, we're doing a super cool thing for the first time, which is a 30-day challenge. So I want to tell you guys about it, and then I want you guys to click the link in the show notes and sign up, because I've never done this before, and I'm super excited about escorting people to a whole food plant-based lifestyle, SOS free. So you guys know I'm a plant-based health and business coach. So if you on here listening and watching, sometimes I'm talking business, sometimes I'm talking health, sometimes I'm marrying the two together, longevity times legacy. I don't know. It all gets me excited. And so we are doing at the Plant Protocol, a 30-day vegan SOS free challenge. SOS means salt, oil, and sugar. So many people are kind of migrating to a more plant-forward lifestyle. Many people are interested in a plant-based lifestyle. However, they need some help, right? They maybe need some motivation. They need some accountability. They need some information. Like, I don't know what to eat, what not to eat. Is this good? Is this not good? Should I be taking a vitamin? Should I be taking a supplement? Like, how do I get my protein? Like, where do I grocery shop? Like, how do I eat on the go? Like, how do I live without sugar? Right? So all of these questions. And so I'm like, you know what? Finally, I'm going to do a challenge, right? So we're going to do a SOS free 30-day vegan challenge, y'all. It is happening June 1st through the 30th, 2024. However, because I know I'm going to be asking a lot from you guys as participants, we're going to do the heavy lifting in May, in the month of May. So the month of May is going to be the run up to the 30-day challenge. And so the month of May 1st through May 31st, is prep month. And so we'll be dripping content to you guys and resources to help you get prepared for the month of June. Okay. June, we going all in. Like, yeah, June is your treatment month. If you overweight, if you diabetic, if you hypertensive, high cholesterol, autoimmune, depression, anxiety, reproductive health, fibroids, June is treatment month. It's treatment. We going on, we snatching all the disease promoting and inflammatory stuff out of your diet and out of your life, messing with me. We're going to do classes on stress, everything. But May is the run up to that because you got to prepare to go into treatment, right? And so I need you guys to get on the wait list for the Plant Protocol 30-Day Vegan Challenge, okay? The wait list is open right now. We'll drop it in the show notes. And then registration is going to start May 1st. That's May. The whole month of May is going to be the run up. And then we're going hard come June 1. Y'all ready for it? It's going to be exciting. So go ahead, click the link in the show notes or wherever you're watching this and get into the challenge. We're going to have an exciting time. Listen, send this to somebody who runs a business, who missed this and needs to watch the replay, okay? Because we are out here thinking that failure is inevitable or that there's a chance of failure. You can set yourself up so failure is not even an option for you or your business or your health, okay? So send this to somebody who needs to hear it and see it or watch the replay. I'll be back here next Monday. Guess what I'm talking about next Monday, y'all? I'm going to answer one of the most common questions I get asked as a plant-based health coach, which is, can I still eat meat and dairy and be healthy? So set your calendar, set your reminder. Next Monday, same time, 10 a.m. EST, I'll be back here live answering the question. If I want to keep eating meat and dairy, can I still be healthy? It's a good question. I remember I did a podcast about this. It's probably some years ago now, and it went crazy. Like this one, we were the Black Health Academy podcast, and it went kind of crazy. So I'm going to bring it back, and we're going to revisit it. Can I eat meat and dairy and still be healthy? Lisa, what if I don't want to be a plant-based vegan? Like, what are my odds out here? Like, what am I really up against? Like, what's really wrong with meat? What's really wrong with dairy? So I'm going to answer that for you guys next Monday. It's already scheduled. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified because I'm going live next Monday talking about meat and dairy. And so it's going to be a really good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.